As a young citizen of India, armed with technology, knowledge, and love for my nation, with a vision of transforming India into a developed nation, I am joining Shobhit University. What about you?
Happy Baisakhi, Punjabi New Year, Happy Puthandu Tamil New Year, Happy Visu Malayalam New Year, Happy Pohele Poshak Bengali New Year, Happy Bohak Bihu Assamese New Year, Happy Bana Shangrandi, Happy New Year, Odia New Year. Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology Meerut and its centers of excellence, Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies, and Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies extend greetings to all the participants from India and abroad who are attending today's national webinar series on doubling farmers' income by 2022, Atmanirbhar Bharat in agriculture. Doubling, and on the topic, doubling income of tribal families through value chain intervention on minor forest producer, a case study from on Custard, apple value chain from Udaipur, Rajasthan. On behalf of the Honorable Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor, faculty members of the university, and on my behalf, and as a Professor Emeritus and Chairman of the 5 Centers of Excellence, Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies, Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Application, Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Application, and Center for Health Informatics and Computing. Let me welcome today's guest speaker to deliver the talk in the 73rd edition of the National Webinar Series. Shri Rakesh Kumar Gupta, a Bhutta Fellow of Srijan, Managing Director, Gramshree Development Services Private Limited, and the Trustee, Gramshree Foundation Trust, Jaipur, Rajasthan. We welcome you, sir. For the benefits of the participants and guest speaker, so far under this webinar series, the university has organized 72 webinars on the topic: role of agriculture cooperative societies and e-governance, blockchain technology-based fishery value chain, a self-contained village, a filthy need of the day, spices informatics network value chain, lantana camera, a camouflaged treasure trove, smart hill agriculture, a digitalized hill agriculture value system, Mera mobile, Mera marketing, integrated mariculture, aquaponics, and precision agriculture, MAPA biofarms for income revolution, smart tribal agriculture, optimizing value chain, digital agri-tech and industry perspective, land resources information system in India, present and road ahead, weather decision technologies for increasing farm income, big data in smart farming, sustainable soil and land management for climate smart agriculture, understanding market dynamics for increasing farm income, role of technologies in mitigating crop risk, how to generate additional profit via simple, attractive approaches in farm produce, adoption of flexi rubber jet time technology, potential benefits for farmers in rainfed and coastal agro ecosystems, realizing the economic benefits of agroforestry, Octosol organic for humic solutions for increasing crop yields and quality while increasing farm income and improving soil health, closing the nutrient loop, phosphorus management in protein farming, improving nutrient use efficiency and farm productivity, artificial intelligence enabled pest management technology for agriculture crop protection without pesticides, empowering farmers through extension and knowledge dissemination, role of mass media, smart poultry monitoring solutions, manufacture and application of biochar for increased soil fertility and crop productivity, agro biodiversity, intellectual property laws, agriculture and farmers' welfare, and insight into the issues for India's agrarian economy, sustainable integration of livestock with agriculture for farm income increase. Role of geographical indications on improving farmers' income, lessons from Asia Pacific region. Dairy informatics network value chain, a dairy tech startup perspective for farmers' income increase. Spices informatics network value chain, a turmeric startup perspective for farmers' income increase. Generating sustainable on-farm income through fintech interventions. Nutrition sensitive agriculture, pathway for increasing farmers' income. Artificial intelligence and data analytics to ensure optimal nutrition in the soil, harvested food that minimizes human health. Bioenergy supply chain, a business opportunity for rural enterprises and FPOs. Tech enabling India's tech starved farmers for manifold increase in productivity and income. Open insurance ecosystem for agriculture producers, risk management solution to overcome repercussions on farmers' income, market stability, and food safety. Role of mass media for farmers' income increase, a case study from Green TV. Extract, open source digital infrastructure for the agriculture ecosystem, a Linux Foundation project. Circular bioeconomy towards resilience, urgent need for redefining raw materials and modified waste management policies and regulations. Agritech, new horizon in Indian agriculture, supporting of farmers for marketing will only help doubling of income by 2022. Rural transformation for farmers' income increase, case studies from impoverished districts. Mobile enabled software as a service to solve complex supply chain challenges, a case study from daily audits. John Deere's journey in India, integrated precision agriculture solutions. Doubling the income of farmers through eco-agri revolution. Bayer's carbon farming initiatives, post-production intervention, maximizing value for farmers, BAFE models of revival of traditional water management system to enable doubling of farmers' income. Should be adopted farmers' welfare as a new paradigm instead of farmers' income. ICT intervention in agriculture, challenges and opportunities. Democratizing the future of farming, a global experience. Commercial processing of orders, next game changer in dairy, data-driven agriculture, and agri-tech startup perspective, agribusiness potentials in Moringa, agriculture income pathways, strengthening links between agriculture activities and nutrition outcome, technology, education, research, rehabilitation for the environment, cultivating dignity for farmers, model village development programs, a case study from Maharashtra, market-driven agriculture, need for development of crop-specific strategies at block level, farmers collective with value addition, powerful business model for income increase for small and marginal farmers, lessons from Operation Flood for transforming agriculture and food systems, sustainable food production, agriculture marketing in India, defects therein and remedial measures, if any, small-scale fisheries and their contribution to rural livelihoods, case study from developing countries, impacting lives through livelihood promotion and value chain development, a case study of Bruti impact model, organic spices cultivation for doubling of farmers' income in northeast region of India, a value chain analysis, agriculture exports management, imperatives of integrating with the global value chain at the earliest, agriculture value chain challenges and opportunities, dairy husbandry for food security and national prosperity, mushroom cultivation, a way towards self-reliance from agriculture waste and providing nutritional food security to the nation. Subhas Balekar, natural farming, future of farming rooted in Indian tradition. Vision 2025, agriculture and allied sectors viewpoint. Today is the 73rd edition of this national webinar series, which will be addressed by Mr. Rakesh Kumar Gupta, a Gupta Fellow of Srijan, Managing Director, Gramshree Development Services Private Limited, and Trustee, Gramshree Foundation Trust, Jaipur, Rajasthan, on a very important topic, doubling income of tribal families through value chain intervention. On minor forest producer, a case study on custard apple value chain from Udaipur, Rajasthan. Dear participants, you look at the keywords, doubling farmers' income, custard apple, value chain intervention, minor forest producer, tribal family, case study, socio-economic growth. Island India is said to be a land of villages. Acharya Vinoba Bhave said India is largely an agrarian agricultural country, Krishi Pradhan Desh, and a country of villages, Kram Pradhan Desh, more than 6.25 lakhs villages. Ministry of Tribal Affairs has conducted a gap analysis based on Census 2011 and Mission Andotya data of Rural Development Ministry, and has found out that there are about 1.45 lakhs villages with over 25% of population where there are developmental gaps. Ahead of assembly elections in 9 tribal dominated states over the next 2 years, the center is set to start a phased transformation program across 1.45 lakhs tribal villages to convert them into model village. This is as per the news reported in Economic Times dated August 23rd, 2021. The new program, Pradhan Mantri Adi Adarsh Gram Yojana, will be initiated across India in multiple phases. The first phase will include 36,428 villages with at least 58% tribal population. Over the first 5 years, the center will give funds to districts to develop health, education, livelihood opportunities, roads, vocational training centers, drinking water and electricity supply, and provide mobile and internet connectivity in these villages. Going online as leaders. Going is an initiative launched by the Ministry of Tribal Affairs in partnership with Facebook India to digitally skill and empower 5,000 youth from tribal communities to become leaders of tomorrow by leveraging the power of digital technology. This is as per the information of Press Information Bureau dated 10th July 2020. Reforms towards digitalization of agriculture systems. I would like to quote from the report, Doubling Farmers' Income by 2022, submitted to the in the month of September 2018 to Government of India, which has 14 volumes, out of which volume 11 and volume 12B, I have been associated as a group leader. Volume 12B is about digital technology in agriculture, which gives 7 mission board programs. For the benefits of the participants and our guest speaker, I would like to spell out those 7 mission board programs. Digitalized agriculture, digital technology and innovation in agriculture, Digital India, Make in India, Skill India, and Startup India program for transformational reforms in agriculture sector, smart irrigated farming, smart rainfed farming, and smart tribal farming. Is a recommendation that digitalized agromet advisories and agriculture risk management solutions, digitalized agriculture resources information system and micro level planning for achieving smart village and smart farming, digitalized value chain for about 400 agriculture commodities, digitalized access to inputs, technology, knowledge, skill, agricultural finance, credit, marketing, and agribusiness management formats, and digitalized integrated land and water management system, and digitalized farm health management for reduction of farmers' loss. This is integrated approach for human health, plant health, animal health, soil health, water health, fish health, and environmental health. And also that the committee recommends in its volume 11 that need for a development of a network of cooperative societies, CoopNet, and automation of each cooperative societies, e-cooperatives, to facilitate governance and operational efficiency in the cooperative sector is good for rural India. And Atmanirbhar Bharat, road ahead, is the vision of Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, of making India a self-reliance rested on 5 I's: intent, inclusion, investment, infrastructure, innovation, based on 5 pillars: quantum jump in economy, infrastructure, one that represents modern India, systems 21st century technology driven and vibrant demography, and demand whereby the strength of our demand and supply chain should be utilized to the full capacity. Today, talk is one such important topic. vocal for local, and make in India for global. And we also have another strategic plan which has been visualized by the government of India, which is under the title Amrit Kal led up to at 100, which has the vision. It says that in the Union Budget speech on 1st February 2022, para 5, by achieving certain goals during the Amrit Kal, our government aims to attain the vision. They are complementing the macroeconomic level growth focus with a microeconomic level all-inclusive welfare focus, promoting digital economy and fintech, technology-enabled development, energy transition, and climate action, and relying on virtuous cycle starting from private investment with the public capital investment helping to crowd in private investment. Sustainable Development Goals of United Nations and Agenda 2030 gives the vision that future we want. 17 Sustainable Development Goals and 169 targets to be achieved. It is a blueprint for peace and prosperity for the people and the planet now and into the future. I would like to refer to the project proposal which the university and along with an NGO named Hassle Free Foundation Chennai, which has signed an MOU with the university for establishment of economic livelihood tribal digital platform. Establishment of economic livelihood tribal digital platform, RISE, rural integrated science enhancement in about 50 tribal village in the state of Meghalaya during September 2021 submitted to the Department of Science and Technology for project funding. It has not come through till today. The idea is that the Digital India program has the potential to transform the existing public services delivery systems, improve productivity, create jobs, and induce economic activity in the areas which are not yet digitally connected. Digital inclusion, social inclusion, sustainable development, and growth are evolving as the matrix of a successful e-governance program in India. Availability of demand-driven e-governance services based on framework approach can achieve digital inclusion exponentially. We included, the opportunities, traditional knowledge, handicraft, livelihood, sustainable rural development, artisans and national and international market, ICT in indigenous knowledge, and handicraft managers. The challenges we noticed: shortage of resources, lacking of marketing channel, lack of infrastructure and capacity of craftsmen, leveraging indigenous knowledge towards sustainability in the handicraft sector through design. Hence, smart tribal village, digital village. And it had, we projected that operationalize as a build, operate, and maintain model for incubation and deriving best practices for 3 years, and thereafter a realistic, sustainable remodel, operate, and transfer model, wherein all the failure entities and processes are removed, new innovation and technology updates and process optimization are introduced for 3 years. And smart, also we talked about smart tribal farming, means operationalization of doubling farmers income committee report volume 12B have to be operationalized in the 7 mission mode program in the under the project head smart tribal farming. And it is a very important thing. Why I wanted to mention this aspect is that the university, Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology, deemed to be university, is also is of its mission and vision that how to bring in smart tribal villages and smart tribal farming as a core for development, and it has to be brought to the notice of the Minister of Tribal Affairs, so that with the involvement of the dedicated non-governmental organization working in the grassroots level, such digitalization has to take place. That smart tribal village and smart tribal farming, use of artificial intelligence, big data analytics, and GIS technology will ensure optimal protein in soil and harvested food to reduce human diseases, and operationalizing optimal value chain in marketing. I also would like to quote in this two webinar series, which we conduct from the university on Thursday, National Webinar Series on Doubling Farmers' Income by 2022, which is having today's 73rd edition, and also International Webinar Series on Open Source Digital Technology towards Self-Reliant India in association with African Asian Rural Development Organization. We talked about supply chain, value chain, challenges and opportunities in 6 talks in the international webinar series, and about 11 talks in the national webinar series on doubling farmers' income by 2022. And one important thing is that agriculture value chain challenges and opportunities, and the the market-driven agriculture need for development of crop-specific strategies at block level, and leveraging emerging technology for ensuring transparent and traceable agri and food supply chain. And then, another very important thing is that agriculture export management, the imperatives of integrating with the global value chain at the earliest. Agriculture value chain in India are subjected to high fragmentation, intermediation, resulting in substantial losses in quantity and quality of produce, limited processing and storage capacities, cold chain, and high price volatility. Agriculture policies in India primarily focused on augmenting production without giving due attention towards developing efficient value chain. Further, cereal-centric policies of Government of India do not adequately recognize the challenges faced by farmers growing non-cereal crops. There are very successful value chain. Case studies indicate, namely dairy value chain, which has been successful in delivering higher returns to the farmer, 70 to 80% of the consumer price. Integrated-led commercial poultry value chain is also successful, risk-free, but at the same time, top tomato, onion, potato value chain are delivering very little, able to provide only about 30% of the consumer price to the farmers. Now, let us come to Gramshree, innovative marketing solution for poor. The vision, their logo says, and we display it on the screen, Gramshree, innovative marketing solution for poor. Their vision, ensure better price to farmers of their produce or products through innovative marketing system and establishment of community-owned and run institution. This is their vision. And their mission is to establish innovative marketing system to market the produce or products of poor, empowering poor, so that they can have direct access to market, which enable them to realize optimum price of their produce. And also to establish a web-based online marketing platform for marketing of rural produce. This is from their website. Let us now turn to the address by Shri Rakesh Gupta, is a managing director of the very important NGO Gramshree, and which is innovative marketing solution for poor. And he will be talking on a very important topic, doubling income of tribal families through value chain intervention on minor forest producer, a case study on custard apple value chain from Udaipur, Rajasthan. Hope that this will also talk on the intervention with Krishya tribes of Kothra block of Udaipur, Rajasthan. This topic will motivate and galvanize the participants watching our telecast through facebook.com Shobhit University India, or youtube.com/Shobhit University in, or linkedin.com/company/Shobhit-University for establishing smart tribal village on the basis of Gramshree model at Gram Panchayat level to promote and sustain vocal for local to make it global mission. This talk will give the participants the realization of our guest speaker, which I took it from some of the published report, he says villages which was linked with the value chain of dairy had progressed, while which were not covered seems to lag behind. Dairy value importance of the dairy value chain. The Doubling Farmers Income Committee report suggests smart irrigated farming, smart rainfed farming, and smarter tribal farming. Let us unlock the opportunities in India at the earliest, like what Gramshree is doing at the tribal villages. Let me introduce the guest speaker to the audience. Mr. Manish, can you put the profile? Mr. Rakesh Kumar Gupta, a Bhutta Fellow of Srijan, Managing Director, Gramshree Development Services Private Limited, and Trustee, Gramshree Foundation Trust, Jaipur, State of Rajasthan, is a very enthusiastic, passionate development sector professional. Mr. Rakesh Gupta has 16 plus years of experience in rural India. He secured postgraduate diploma in rural development from Xavier Institute of Social Services, Ranchi, and later did a certificate course on livelihood and marketing from Godi International Institute, Antigonish, Canada. Mr. Rakesh Gupta has worked with the national level NGO for 7 years and developed a model on value chain for doubling the farmers' income in different geographies of Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh. He worked with the Tata Trust and led the program which impacted lives of more than 1 lakh families. He has also led the development entrepreneurship program for nurturing IIMs and IITs graduates as an entrepreneur for 1 year and worked as freelance consultant for 3 years. Mr. Rakesh Gupta is currently involved in his own startup, Gramshree Development Services Private Limited, which has a vision of impacting lives of 1 lakh tribal families by 2030. Very important vision. We would like to work with him. He brings in vast marketing and supply chain management experience. Mr. Rakesh Kumar Gupta, we welcome you to the national webinar series on doubling farmers' income by 2022, Atmanirbhar Bharat in agriculture, to talk on doubling income of tribal families through value chain intervention on minor forest producer, a case study on custard apple value chain from Udaipur, Rajasthan. Over to you. Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning to everybody, and I would like to thank to Professor Moni. He shared elaborately about what Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology is doing, and I'm really privileged to get this platform to share our experience of working with the tribal families. So, so in this webinar, we will be sharing a brief about the case study of on custard apple value chain, which we have been able to establish in Rajasthan, and now we are at a stage of scaling it up. So we will just take you through this small presentation. Just wanted to check, is my screen visible to everybody?
No, it's yet to come. It's coming now.
Yeah. So is the screen now visible?
It's visible. Just 1 minute. Just for
yeah.
I'm linking with another one. Just 1 minute.
Okay. One thing.
Just 1 minute. Yeah.
Oh, so I would like to thanks once again, like Professor Moni and Soviet Institute of Engineering Technology for providing us this platform to share our like experience of working with the tribal families, especially in southern Rajasthan area. So before like we move for the presentation, I will just share a brief about Gramshree. As you can see that we are basically working on a hybrid model. Basically, it's a market-led development model. So, so I'll just take you through what this hybrid model is about. So we are having like two institutions. One is our startup Gramshree Development Services Private Limited, which is also registered under Startup India, and the not-for-profit organization Gramshree Foundation Trust, which is again registered in Rajasthan. And we are currently working in 4 blocks of Udaipur and Rajasthan district of Rajasthan, and 1 block of Kake district of Chhattisgarh. So idea of like having this hybrid model. So our Gramshree Foundation Trust basically works with the tribal families in the rural areas at the back end. So at the back end, basically our organization work with these tribal farmers, tribal women. Our focus is how we can build the capacities of these tribal families, what type of livelihood intervention we can do which can help them to increase their income, and we can align with our like prime minister vision of doubling the farmer income. That's the ultimate goal basically is there. So farmers are basically how we can increase their productivity in agriculture, how we can increase their productivity in terms of vegetable cultivation. And then our startup comes in where these tribal farmers require support in marketing of their produce. So there like our startup comes in and pitch in terms of like what type of new technology can be added, what type of like value addition can be done, so that these tribal farmers can get a better price of their produce. So this is how basically like our organization basically works. This is the hybrid model on which Gramsci basically is working on. And like Professor Moni also shared, like we have a vision that we would like to impact the lives of 1 lakh tribal families across India by 2030. So so in this hybrid model, we like to reach out to 1 lakh tribal families. So how we basically work. So this is the approach we follow, what we do. So what we do, we basically establish the cluster-based value chain intervention. So our startup, the private limited company, establish mini processing unit in the interior village itself. So idea is that our private limited company demonstrate how a mini processing unit can be established, and then later on we try to motivate the local farmer producer organizations or local youth also to take those basically initiative as an enterprise. So in terms of our approach, so we basically wherever like we go or wherever we work, we start with identification of problems, what challenges these tribal families are facing in terms of productivity, in terms of marketing, in terms of like value addition missing, any technology is there. Then we basically explore what solution basically can be there. There we will try to collaborate with the local universities, KVKs to find out what technology intervention can add value and can lead to the solution which like farmers are facing. Once we are able to basically understand that the technology can basically provide some solution, then we try to understand, do a market study. We want to be basically try to do the feasibility study, whether the final product which will be ready by the farmers after validation, is there demand in the market or not. So if we get a assessment done and feasibility study says there is an opportunity, then we go for the pilot. And once the pilot is done, basically, then we go for the expansion. So the experience which we'll be sharing here in terms of like custard apple value chain, that also has gone through this process basically. So now I will take you ahead about this case study. So again, like before moving to the case study, I would just like to give you a pan-India scenario. What are the challenges are there in terms of like with the tribal families across our country? So in India, almost like 8% of our total population belongs to scheduled tribes. Uh, which is almost like 10.43 crores tribal families are there as per the census 2011. And out of these, 50% of these tribal resides in the forest area. And for them, the minor forest produce become the most critical component of their livelihood. And if we are going to relate, you can see the map, which basically has been released recently by National Multi-Dimensional Poverty Index Report 2021, released by Niti Aayog. It shows poverty is widespread, especially in the central part of India, in the states like Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Jharkhand. All these states are having a like tribal dominant pockets, and you can relate it in terms of poverty. Like you can see, like Madhya Pradesh 36%, 36.7% poverty, Jharkhand 42.2% poverty. So we can relate, means wherever the tribal populations are there, they are facing the challenges. Poverty is more deep rooted there. So there is a requirement, there is a challenge also, but there is an opportunity also. These areas basically flourished with the like minor forest produce, lot of abundant produce are there, but there is a need to basically intervene, need to bring some like technology intervention, need to basically link them to the market. So this is the like overall like national level scenario, which I basically wanted to share with you all before moving to the micro intervention which we have done. So now I will basically take you to the micro level intervention which we have done. So this is like custard apple value chain. So we basically, it was a period of like 2016-17. We basically came in touch with this Gracia tribes in Kotra block of Udaipur, Rajasthan. This Kotra block is one of the most backward block of southern Rajasthan. And these tribes basically and lives in a condition devised of basic facilities, even the road, this area is totally rain fed. For them, like they hardly get, basically it's only like the kharif crop which they get, only maize is there. So even the food security is challenge for these tribal families in these areas. And for them, like whatever like minor forest produce available in the forest become the source of cash income for them. So while we were venturing in these areas, so we found that custard apple was available in abundant in these area, but because of the small shelf life of this fruit, and because these tribal families are living in much interior areas, they are not connected with the market. So they were forced to sell this fruit during that period at a rate of around 3 rupees, 4 rupees per kg. So when we were exploring, we were trying to understand the ground situation, trying to interact with the tribal farmers. We also tried to take a like macro picture pan India situations. So then we found that similar situations were there in other tribal dominant districts of like Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Telangana, Gujarat, Maharashtra. So then we found that this like problem is not only limited to southern part of like Rajasthan, but it's widespread across the country. Then our team basically, we thought if we basically can try to find out the solution if for this one cluster, if we can demonstrate, we can develop a model, this can really impact if it's scaled up to a larger like tribal families, which like our vision is all about. So then we basically started exploring what can be the solution. So challenge was that the fruit was available in abundance, but because of the small shelf life, this fruit need to be sold within a day, 2 to 3 days period of a time. So there is a need what like value addition can be done, how we can preserve this fruit. So when we were exploring, so what solution can be there? So we came to know about this browning free technology developed by Maharana Pratap University of Agriculture and Technology, Udaipur, Rajasthan. So this technology was developed so that if we extract the pulp of this fruit, custard apple pulp, and with this technology, if we preserve this fruit in a frozen condition, its shelf life goes up to almost 2 years. So you can see the upper portion where like it is written browning. So if we don't use this technology, the pulp will get brownish and reddish, which will be of no use within a period like a time period of 4 to like 5 hours period of a time. So before use of this technology, the shelf life of this pulp was around 4 to 5 hours. But with the help of this technology and using the storage in terms of like deep freezer, cold room, its shelf life goes up to almost 2 years period of a time. The second challenge was that this fruit has a limited time period. So across the country, if you see, this fruit start coming from September, October, and November. So it comes like if you go to like Chhattisgarh, Telangana, the fruit starts coming in like September first weeks like that. And when you like move towards to Madhya Pradesh and then to Rajasthan, the fruit start coming in October and it lasts up to like mid-December, something like that. So there comes a period when like like more volume of fruit comes, and that need to be basically converted into pulp. Seed need to be separated. So there was a challenge. Means how basically seed can be separated. Earlier, like the pulp and the seed used to be separated manually, but later on, like lot of like technical partners were there who has come with this de-seeding machine. You can see the picture on the right side. So you put the pulp and the seed, the machine will separate out the pulp on the one side and seed on the other side. So this was like one of the technology which helped us how we can basically extract the pulp and increase its shelf life. But this was not the only solution which basically helped us to take this initiative basically and make this value chain more sustainable. So we require more like this, again, like blast freezing technology was required. So once like product is ready, we need to take this product to a temperature from normal temperature of like 25 degrees centigrade to minus 30 degrees centigrade. So we required this blast freezing technology. So when we introduced this blast freezing technology, and like our vision was that we want to establish these mini processing unit in the tribal village itself. So idea was that if we are able to establish these units in tribal villages, tribal women and tribal youth will get the opportunity to work in these mini processing units. And once they are able to see how these are run, in future they can basically plan to run these enterprise of their own. So idea was to establish in those. But once we did our pilot in around 2016-17, challenge of like power and electricity in those tribal interior villages was also there. So that was a big challenge for us. So like when we did this intervention, so there was a power cut for almost like 7 to 8 hours during the daytime, and it was basically very difficult to save the pulp during that period. Then we have to hire the genset, which basically increases the cost of the product, which was making this like business unviable. Then we got in touch with a solar company who basically came up with this solar run deep freezer. So this was like a breakthrough, like basically intervention. So these deep freezer, which basically preserve this pulp at a temperature of around minus 15 to minus 18 degrees centigrade, helped us to take these interventions to more interior villages. So this was almost a revolution for us, especially for like when we are planning to go more deeper into the tribal villages of our country. Second, you can see there's a truck mounted solar run deep freezer. So once like product is ready in those interior villages, this product need to be transported to a district headquarter where we are having a facility of cold storage, from where the final product need to be transported to the buyers basically. So this addition of truck mounted solar run deep freezer also basically provided us the solution what we were looking for. So these were the like solutions we got in. But like what I shared earlier also, solution was there. So we wanted to check whether market demand is there or not, where like if we are going to make this product, we will be able to sell it or not. Then Gramsci did a deep dive for a deeper understanding of what's the market scenario is there. So when we did this market scenario, so we came to know that there is a like already existing like a manufacturing unit in Maharashtra, where like custard apple pulp is made through orchard grown custard apple. So we started making with this wild grown custard apple, but already the industry existed which uses this orchard grown custard apple. So while we were exploring the market, we found that there was a huge demand, especially in the ice cream industry, catering industry, and restaurant and shakes parlors basically. So I will just like to mention specifically about the catering industry. In like western part of our country, the states like Gujarat, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, some part of Madhya Pradesh, there is a huge demand in the catering industry. So these pulp are being used to make different dessert items during the marriage season. So there is a huge demand during the marriage period if it comes like from November till April, May and June, apart from the ice cream industry. So this study really gave us a very positive way forward that there is a great demand. We need to understand the customer, what the quality of like product they require. So we further got deep dive into understanding who are the other player in the market, what type of pulp they are basically making, how what will be our USP. So then basically we came up with that the already existing manufacturer and the competitors were there who were using this orchard grown custard apple while we were using the wild grown fruit which was default organic. So that was the USP basically we started with. So with the problem we came out with the different type of solution and we understood what the market is there. So after that we basically decided to do a pilot. So this is the process and this is the model which Gramshree basically execute in the field in the tribal villages. So our like not-for-profit organizations, they mobilize these tribals women into self-help groups or producer groups. So these groups basically they meet fortnightly. They also do saving, and then in these group we basically provide training to these tribal women in terms of how to basically pluck the fruit. What is the stage they should pluck the fruit so that the fruit is matured, how to do the grading, sorting, and all these type of basically skill building like things are being done. And then we establish this fruit collection center at the village level where one of the tribal women take the responsibility of like collecting these fruit. So proper documentation in terms of like how much women have sold a custard apple, which grade of fruit, A grade, B grade. So for example, when we started in 1718, so we used to buy the fruit B grade at a rate of 8 rupees per kg. So for you can see there is 20 kg of fruit. Before our intervention, the middleman used to give them 50 rupees, 60 rupees, maximum 18, 19 rupees for this 20 kg of like custard apple. When we started intervention, so these women started getting in the range of 150 to 200 rupees per carat. So recently, like in 2021, they are getting an average price of around like 15 rupees per kg. So this is the value additions we were able to make. So almost like doubling or tripling, we can say, in terms of the price they were realizing earlier at their doorstep at the village level. So we basically established these type of fruit collection center in around like 15 to 20 villages. Then the van goes to each villages the way like milk route van goes. So from each villages, these fruit baskets are collected and those are brought into the mini processing unit established in the again in those villages. There the whole processing is being done and then the final product is brought to the market. So I will share you the detail about the process further in the next slide. So now I will request Manish ji if he can run that video. So I will just show you the video which we have basically made during 16-17 during our first pilot. So that will give you a more clear picture about the area, what type of challenges we have faced, how we were able to like do the intervention. Manish ji?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you play the movie, please?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Udaipur, Rajasthan, Pali, districts of South Rajasthan are gifted with natural resources in abundance. Gracia and Bhil tribes in Kotra block of Udaipur district, Rajasthan live in conditions devoid of the basics. They depend a lot on natural resources available in forest for sustaining their livelihood.
जैसे सीताफल की पैदावार बहुत ज़्यादा होती है इस क्षेत्र में। बहुत सारे सीताफल यहाँ से मार्केट में बेचने के लिए भी जाते हैं। उसके अलावा भी इतनी मात्रा में उनकी पैदावार होती है कि बहुत सारे सीताफल वहीं के वहीं रह जाते हैं, उनको वाजिब दाम नहीं मिलता है।
In collaboration with Village Forest Committee, Gramshree initiated an intervention by forming women self-help groups. Collection centers were established in 6 villages, managed by women after training them in terms of grading, sorting and record maintenance. Earlier, these tribal families sold custard apple at the rate of rupees 3 to 4 per kg. With this intervention, it has gone up to rupees 8 to 10 per kg. After collection, fruit is transported to pulp processing unit in Chhaduri.
आपने यहाँ पे उन लोगों में अवेयरनेस का काम करवाया, उनमें जागृति पैदा करी कि भी सीताफल के जो फल हैं उनको कच्चा तोड़ के अगर बाजार में बेच देते हैं तो उसका दाम कम आता है। तो आप सीताफल का पकने का इंतजार करें, उनके जब आंखें आ जाती है उसके बाद भी वो सीताफल का फल पूरी तरह से परिपक्व हो पाता है, और उसका अगर आप मार्केट में बेचते हैं तो उसकी कीमत भी ज़्यादा आती है।
Pulp, along with the seed, is extracted and is further segregated by tribal women under hygienic conditions and technical guidance.
मैंने खुद वहाँ जाकर देखा है कि ये इन्होंने बड़े ही एक साइंटिफिक वे से वहाँ पे उन्हीं आदिवासी महिलाओं से फल खरीद के उन्हीं के द्वारा वहाँ दिन भर मुद्दा निकालते हैं।
Final product is packed using browning-free technology and then hardened and cold stored ready for sale to ice cream and catering industry.
इस वेंचर से वहाँ के आदिवासी जो हैं लोगों की आय में 3 से 4 गुना वृद्धि हुई है।
सबसे मवाली मिल करके सीताफल लगा 15,000 रुपया किया। कोई नहीं मत हो रहा है तो इसको तावा तब कराता है, इसको सीताफल बेच करके अस्पताल ले गए मत हो रहा है, इलाज करावे खतरों की दो नहीं।
मुझे पूर्ण विश्वास है कि ग्राम जैसी संस्थाएं यदि इस कार्यों को अपनाती हैं तो कंज्यूमर को अच्छी गुणवत्ता वाला दूध प्राप्त होगा। साथ साथ उस क्षेत्र में जो आदिवासी भाई हैं जिनको उस फल का बहुत कम दाम मिलता था, अच्छा दाम मिलेगा, और उस एरिया में ये छोटी छोटी इंडस्ट्रीज खुलने से वहाँ पर रोजगार के नए अवसर सृजन होंगे।
Gramshree impacted 250 tribal families who received revenue of 2 lakh through sales of fruits and mandays within a month. Gramshree dreams to scale this model to districts of MP and Rajasthan.
Yeah. So thank you, Manish. So you saw this. So this was the pilot, like we did. It's like in 16-17. So at that, before our intervention, these tribal students were getting like 3 rupees, 4 rupees per kg. So now in last, like in 2021, so they are getting an average price of around rupees 15 per kg. So from like taking it from like rupees 4 kg to 15, so almost we were able to triple basically what the value of the price basically they were getting earlier. So I will just take you through like more detail about what process basically we follow. So once like fruit is collected at the village level, that is brought at the processing unit, where like this fruit basically like is stored for natural ripening. So the whole fruit is kept inside a room, and we basically try to ripen through a natural process. And once basically then we take it out, then sorting is done. So fruit which is got ripened, that is being sent to for the processing. So in processing, the first process comes out of like scooping. That the process where like we take out the seed and pulp together. Then it moves for de-seeding. So in de-seeding, we are having like two process. One is manual, and second using the machine, the de-seeding machine, which you saw in the first picture, and then packaging and sealing. So packaging is done in like 1 kg pouch, which is basically in high demand by the catering industry. While in case of ice cream manufacturer, so they have their own packaging demand of like 5 kg or even higher of 10 kg. So based on that, the final packaging is done. So one pulp is packed, basically seed is separated, pulp is packed. It need to basically taken to a temperature of minus 30 degree within 1 to 2 hours of a time. So that basically increases the shelf life of that pulp. So these are the picture you can see. This is the picture how our mini processing units looks like. So this is one of the mini processing unit in a village called Dang, which is around like 90 kilometer from Udaipur district headquarters. So here manual de-seeding is being done. So there are different units. In some unit manual de-seeding are done. Some unit we are using the machine de-seeding processor. So once the pulp is ready, so the pulp had to be taken to a temperature of minus 30 degrees centigrade. So it for almost we keep this to for a hour of 10 to 12 hours. So it's totally become hardened. So if you hit this pulp on somebody's head, pulp will not break, but somebody's head will break down. So once that basically hardening process is done, then this pulp is ready for storage. So initially it is stored at the processing unit level only, and once a volume is ready which need to be transported, then the final product is transported to the district headquarters, the cold room. Currently basically we rent the cold room, and from there the dispatch is done to the different level of buyers. So this is how basically transportation is done. So if a buyer has a demand of, for example, 300, 400 up to 500 kg or even 1 metric ton of pulp, so that basically dispatch is done through these thermocol boxes. A buyer who has a demand of more than 2 metric ton or 4 metric ton, so then we use basically refrigerated van to basically dispatch the product to the buyers. So this is all where the backward end. Then at the front end, currently our startup basically focusing more on how we are able to market these produce, how we are able to basically separate the product which we are making, because we have to compete with the world. Basically the buyer basically doesn't give value that this product are being made by the tribal women. They are ready to pay, but they want the quality. So that is we are trying to maintain. So all the hygiene factor, which is mandatory by FSI, we basically try to ensure all those good manufacturing practices and good hygiene practices are maintained. So currently we are able to market these produce in the western part of the country like Rajasthan, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, and we are also able to cater the Delhi NCR market also. So, and there was a lot of demand basically in southern part of India also, like Hyderabad, Bangalore. So with that demand, now Gramshree is basically opening its another processing unit in tribal villages of Chhattisgarh now in Kaker district. So you can see some of the product like milk shake or the basundi and sitafal ice cream. So you can see in map of India. So we started our work with in the tribal southern part of Rajasthan, Udaipur and Samban district, and we have also provided support to the farmer producer organization and the individual entrepreneur in Madhya Pradesh in establishing these mini processing units. So there basically we provide technical support and marketing support to those individuals who are ready to basically take it as an enterprise. And now we have basically started our work in Kaker, Chhattisgarh. So currently, so what we are trying to do it, so this was the one of the wild grown fruit which was available in the tribal area, custard apple. Then we ventured into the jamun. So again, jamun are also available in those tribal villages. So we have came up with this jamun slices, which is again in a huge demand. Then we came to know in the same area we are having this wild grown amla. So we are also working on this dry amla and amla candy, and we are also trying to enter into other products so that we can add further some income for the tribal family. So we are working on this jamun jam also. So these are some of the pics of these products which are ultimately consumed by the final consumers at their household level. So you can see these are like some of the mini processing units which are being supported by Gramshree and directly run by the Gramshree also. So now coming into like terms of what impact we have.
Mr. Gupta, can you put the previous slide? We just immediately rushed
Yeah.
through.
Sorry. Yeah. So these are like mini processing units.
We can explain to the one in Jadoli, Dank, in other places.
Yeah. Okay.
How we were able to do it. Spend some time so that because it conveys a lot of message. Let the people who participate, who also would like to see, let them understand.
Great, sir. So you people have seen in the movie also there was a forest department officials. So while we work with the tribal families, so we also basically try to take the other stakeholders who also have the same vision. So like in Rajasthan, the forest department was also keen. They also wanted how basically their support can help the tribals to have additional income. So you can see the Jhadoli and Dang. So these are the centers which was given to us by the forest department. So there is a village level corporate forest department committees are there. So these are the venue which was provided by the forest department, Chadoli and Dang. These are in Rajasthan, in Udaipur district. Again, like this Suthar Madra, again, this is in Gogunda block of Rajasthan. Another like Kherwada and this Malwa ka Chauraha. So we are also collaborating with the state rural livelihood missions. So people must be knowing that in across the country, state rural livelihood missions are there who are promoting self-help groups and cluster level federations. So we are basically collaborating with them. So they already have the base of those community institutions, and they have above self-help group. They have formed, this is called cluster level federation. So this cluster level federation comprise of around 50 to 60 self-help groups. So we provide technical support to these cluster level federations also in basically establishing this whole processing unit. So we provide them technical support in terms of what will be the layout, what type of machinery will be required, what type of training is being required to be given to these tribal women in terms of sorting training, in terms of de-seeding training, in terms of managing the cold chain. So these are there. The sixth one is the Guma. This is one of the farmer producer organization promoted by a national level NGO called Vision. So they are basically doing the whole processing, and we are supporting them in marketing of their produce. So this is the how basically Gramshree is working. One directly doing the intervention, and we are also trying to expand to reach more tribal families through other stakeholders in the same geography. And we have other partners like CI Ahmedabad, Wilgrow, FICCI. So our intervention with this tribal family has been recognized in a different platform. So I will be sharing that also in my later slides also. So now coming to economic and social impact. So you can see before our intervention, these tribals were selling this fruit at a rate of 4 rupees per kg. So now slowly and slowly, on an average, they are getting 15 rupees per kg. But still, I would like to share, in Rajasthan, so we are able to cover around 50 to 70 villages in Kotra, Gogunda, and these are the 3 blocks where this custard apple is available in abundance. But still, there are a lot of many interior villages where we are not been able to reach. Still there these tribals are selling at a rate of 3 rupees, 4 rupees per kg. Second, just to share with you all people, there is a challenge at the local level. Basically panchayat they start open a vendors. Basically they invite vendors for collecting these fruit, and they basically don't allow tribals to sell these fruit independently to others. So these tribals are forced to sell this fruit still to some of to the people, the vendor who has won that bid basically. So in those areas, I'm just to share specifically in Samman district of Rajasthan, still there are villages where tribals are forced to sell these fruit at a rate of 3 to 4 rupees per kg. So in terms of these are the impact, a number of families we have been able to impact around 1500 families. Because of last 2 years COVID, we are not able to scale up in Rajasthan. But now with the stakeholder opening up, so we basically expect that we'll be able to reach in 2022 with the help of other stakeholder at least 5,000 families in 2022. Just to give you a brief about who are really getting impacted. So you can see Anita Bai, she's a class 3 dropout, and they have a very small land holding, and these area is totally rain fed. So rain fed means they don't have any rabi crop, so they only have an opportunity to grow the kharif crop, and in these area they are able to grow only maize. So and they are for food security also, they are totally depending upon the government's PDS system. So if that would have not been there in these area, even the food security would have been challenged. And for them, getting a labor in their own villages is also challenged. So there is a lot of migration from these areas. So still, if you see the cash annual income for these tribal families is around 25,000 rupees. So with our intervention now, these families are getting an additional income of 10,000 rupees by working in these mini processing unit, while they are also getting additional income in terms of in the range of 5,000 to 20,000. It depends upon how much volume of fruit they are collecting from the wild and selling it in the fruit collection center being run by the Gramshree or other farmer producer organization. So this is basically we are able to additional try to double what they were earning earlier 20,000. So we are able to add another 20,000 in their basically pocket. So in terms of social impact, if you see, especially if we talk about these tribal women, so while working in these processing unit, their skill upgradation is happening. They are started to understand how sorting of fruit, basically grading of fruit, can help them to get a higher price of the fruit. While working in the processing unit, they are not able to understand the personal hygiene. When they entered into our processing unit, they know they have their nails should be cut down. There should be no nails. Then they have to basically wear hand gloves. They have to wear mask. They have to wear head cap. So they now understand if they don't wear the head cap, if hair comes out, it goes into the product. So that will basically will not be good for it. A lot of women have started able to manage this cold chain. How basically this pulp can be shelf life can be increased by keeping them in a temperature of minus 18 degrees centigrade. So these are the skills these women, and they are becoming more confident. And with the money they are taking back to their home, more they are getting more stake of decision making in their household. So apart from the social, lot of apart from economical, lot of social impact is also happening in these tribal areas. So this is in terms of our model, in terms of cost, what we are talk about, what Gramsci basically try to replicate. So we say that there should be, it will be like a hub and a spoke model. There should be a centralized processing unit which will be having a capacity of around making around 30 to 40 metric ton of pulp, and around that centralized processing unit will be having 4 to 5 mini processing unit, which can be managed by the local community institution like cluster level federation or farmer producer organization, or even the local youth, if he or she basically want to take it as an enterprise. So we have come up with that if somebody want to establish a mini processing unit, so they require a total investment of around 10 lakh rupees, out of which around 5 lakh will go into fixed capital machinery and other things, while rest they will be requiring a working capital of around 5 lakh rupees. So with this they will be able to make a product of 5 to 10 metric ton. So if they makes a 10 metric ton, so there will be a business of around 15 lakh rupees, and they will be able to get a net profit of around 1 lakh to 2 lakh rupees in a period of like 3 to 4 months period of a time. So this is how basically we are now trying what Gramshree is trying, that Gramshree will be able to establish these centralized processing unit, and then we will be having these other stakeholder, farmer producer organizations, and the tribal basically youth, tribal entrepreneurs. So this is a model which we have been able to establish in Rajasthan. Now we are trying to replicate and share with the other stakeholders in other part of the country. So these are the like revenue streams, whoever basically established this revenue chain. So in terms of custard apple, if you see, so everything is being used. So sale of raw custard apple is, the revenue comes from that. Custard apple pulp is also sold. Custard apple seed is also being used by the pesticide industry. So there is a huge demand of custard apple seed. Oil is extracted from the custard apple seed. Again, that is in a huge demand. Even the waste material with the outer part of the custard apple, during the processing season, we basically make is dumped, and later on after 3 to 4 period of a month, it is being used as a fertilizer in the agriculture. So every component of like custard apple is has an economical value. Same is the case with the jamun. So we are using these jamun slices. Once the seed is basically extracted, we dry the seed, and again those dry seed and powder seed are in a high demand for the medicine purpose. So these are how we are basically looking in terms of the revenue. So these are some of the recognitions which like our intervention with the tribal family has been recognized in the different platform. So in 2018, Gramshree was selected as one of the first prize in the agri startup by Wilgrow under iPitch event. And then in like November 16, 2018, Gramshree received the award of most impactful agriculture startup by FICCI under Business Excellence Award. And we received this award by then Honorable Minister of Commerce and Industry, Shri Suresh Prabhuji. So apart from this, we have also been recognized in the different platform. And recently, like our case study was basically ventured into the top 10 case study under value chain and agri intervention in Sitaram case study organized by the Access Development Services. So this is from like my side, and I will be happy to take the questions and clarifications from your side. And I would just like to check with Manish ji, like whether my colleague like Devi Singh has joined or not.
So Devi Singh is joined and Vikas ji is also joined, but their mic and video is not connected.
Devi Singh ji not connected.
So Devi Singh ji is connected.
So if you can connect him, like two of the tribal women are there. We would like they can share their experiences. So they are the ultimate like people who has worked also and has got benefited also. So I will just share like Moni Bai and Jeevit Devi. These are the two tribal women of village Suran from Gogunda block of Udaipur, Rajasthan. So this is a village where like again I will say like a huge like custard apple, like wild grown custard apple is available there. So if they are there,
can you ask them to adjust the camera properly? Madam Devi Singh slightly up.
देवी सिंह जी आप ये थोड़ा सा कैमरा को सीधा कर लीजिएगा और मोनी भाई को और जीवी भाई को आगे ले आइएगा थोड़ा आपको लाइट की तरफ उल्टा करना चाहिए
Okay, very nice sir. Namaste ji. Devi Singh ji, namaste.
देवी सिंह जी अनम्यूट कर लीजिए वहां पे बटन होगा हाँ अब बोलिए So I will also like to share this, like my colleague Devi Singh, and he's joining us from Rajasthan, while my other colleague Vikas Bundela, he is joining from Chhattisgarh Kaker currently. So these are the two of my colleagues basically who has worked with these tribal women. Like Devi Singh is really instrumental because working with these tribal families, winning their trust is really a big challenge in those areas. Means if you really want to work with like tribals, you have to basically win their trust. Then only they will allow, then they will participate also. So now I will request like देवी सिंह जी आप मोनी भाई और जीवी भाई को थोड़ा बोलिएगा शेयर करने के लिए कि उन थोड़ा सा कि जो एक तो शेयर करें कि जो सीताफल गांव में इकट्ठा करते थे तो पहले क्या समस्या आती थी और जब ग्रामश्री आया तो किस तरीके से उन समस्याओं को दूर करके और कैसे काम किया। मोनी भाई आपको समझ में आ रही मेरी बात?
मेरा समझ आ रहा है।
आस्किंग देम ओनली।
नमस्ते जी देवी सिंह जी, मैडम देवी सिंह जी नमस्ते। आप ज्वाइन करने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद है। राकेश जी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। You have talked it is a very big work which you have done it at the grassroots level. बहुत important work। धन्यवाद है and namaskar। And I'm very much happy, and it's not only that your case study has become top 10. I think it is number 1 as far as I'm concerned. You have shown the way, like what the dairy farmers in 1946 they have shown it from Gujarat to the Britishers. Today you have shown it to the Indian bureaucrats and Indian authorities that how custard apple from tribal areas, wild grown custard apple can change the whole situations. It is a real value chain. And today I'm very happy that when as in association with the Doubling Farmers Income Committee report, when I put it small tribal farming, I'm very happy that things are happening. People like Mr. Rakesh Gupta working with the tribal families, and he is able to, his association, his NGO, his startup is able to bring smiles on the face of the our tribal bahans, that our sisters and brothers. It is very important. Grassroots level smile is very important, and you have shown the way. And before we summarize it, मैं थोड़ा दीदी वहां से बोल दो आपका कैसे आप काम किया है, कितने खुशी के फैमिली में आ गए, कैसे है आप लोग, आप ग्रामश्री स्टार्टअप के काम करने के बाद बोल दीजिए।
मोनी भाई बोलिए।
वॉइस नहीं आ रहा है।
अनम्यूट कीजिएगा एक बार। हाँ अनम्यूट है, बोलिए जी भाई, मोनी भाई।
मेरा नाम भी मोनी है। आई थिंक उसको नहीं उसको बहुत डर रहा है। आप बोल दीजिए, अच्छा है आप
देवी सिंह जी आप भी बोल सकते हैं। देवी सिंह जी आप बोलिए, आवाज नहीं आ रही, थोड़ा बोलिए एक बार। हेलो देवी सिंह जी, आवाज नहीं आ रही आपकी।
मोबाइल से काम कर रहा है वो, मोबाइल के दो से उसके पास बात कर दीजिए, अच्छा हो जाएगी।
हेलो बोलिए देवी सिंह जी, एक बार तो हेडफोन ट्राई करके बोलिए। हेलो
वॉइस आ रहा है कुछ?
हाँ जी सॉरी देवी सिंह जी आ रही है, आवाज आ रही है हमारी, बोलिए। नहीं आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है।
ठीक है, आप छत्तीसगढ़ से वो बात कर दीजिए, वहाँ मिल जाएगी।
विकास is there? Sorry, like
No problem, no problem. I think Mr. Manish, can you put it in to people view? Okay, very nice that. Vikas.
Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar, Mr. Vikas. Thank you. And please introduce yourself. आप introduce कर दीजिए, and then ग्रामश्री के बारे में थोड़ा बात कीजिए.
ओके, मेरा नाम विकास बुंदेला है. पिछले ग्रामश्री से पिछले 4 सालों से मैं काम कर रहा हूँ. ग्रामश्री 2016 से उदयपुर के 3 ब्लॉक के अंदर काम कर रही है, कस्टर्ड एप्पल और जामुन इंटरवेंशन को लेके, जिसके तहत अभी हमने लगभग 1000 से ऊपर फैमिलियों को इससे बेनिफिट किया है, डायरेक्ट और इनडायरेक्ट रूप से. और उसी के साथ में हमने हमारा आदिवासी महिलाओं को मिला के फार्मर प्रोड्यूसर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन भी बनाया गया है, जिसके अंदर 700 परिवार से ऊपर जुड़े हुए हैं. उसके तहत बहुत सारी ऐसी एक्टिविटी की है, जैसे कोविड के अंदर उनको जोड़ के राशन किट बांटना, मास्क वगैरह. इसके अलावा वैल्यू इंटरवेंशन के द्वारा उनको वहाँ एम्प्लॉय भी जनरेट हुआ है. उसके अलावा उनको जो रॉ मटेरियल जो पिछले 4 या 5 साल पहले जो बहुत कम रेट में जाता था या फिर ना के बराबर जाता था, उसके अंदर भी डबल से ट्रिपल उनका इनकम हुआ है. और अभी ज्यादा से ज्यादा फैमिलियों को हम जोड़ने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं. धन्यवाद.
विकास, आप वहाँ पे यूनिट पे हो क्या अभी?
या
आप महिलाएं हैं क्या?
आ रहे हैं अभी महिलाएं.
Okay. So like just to share with you, like Vikas is currently in Kaker, Chhattisgarh. So the intervention which we have done in like Rajasthan area, so we are now expanding it to Chhattisgarh, Kaker. So it is Uttar Bastar. So like Uttar Bastar and Southern Bastar, everybody knows basically how basically is this difficult area. But we have decided like these are the areas where we really require these type of intervention. We have just started and we are basically looking for everybody's like well wishes and support. So we'll be like we have started here like we'll be doing this custard apple value chain, but we are also doing this tamarind value chain intervention. Currently like tamarind collection is being done. So again de-seeding process of tamarind, cake making, and then basically we'll be like supplying it to the vendors into mostly in southern India like Hyderabad, Bangalore. So what like currently what like these tribals are getting, we are looking forward they will be able to get almost double the price what they are getting now of the like raw tamarind. So with these interventions, so that's what we are able to expand.
Very nice, Rakesh ji. I am very much overwhelmed and also that lot of insight.
हेलो, आपकी वॉल्यूम नहीं आ रही सर, अगर आती तो बहुत अच्छा होता. नो वॉल्यूम. हेडफोन, आप हेडफोन है, हेडफोन यूज करके कर सकते. मोनी बाई कर सकती थी. So sorry. So just to, I will just share one few lines about these two women. So Moni Bai and GV Bai. So this is a village called Suran, which is around 50 kilometers away from Udaipur district. If somebody goes from like Udaipur to Mount Abu, so these villages will come. When somebody goes, so you will also find like small children taking a basket of custard apples selling in the highway. Still that process is there. So this village basically lies in that basically highway. So earlier they used to sell these to middlemen, but now so we basically work. But I share like we form these producer groups. So in the one villages we have basically formed around 6 producer groups, and almost like 70 to 80 women are the part of that producer group. And these women have decided that, and they have basically like formed a farmer producer organization named in the name of Vandan Mahila Shakti Producer Company. And they have decided that whoever plucks the custard apple, they will be selling only to their farmer producer organization. nobody will be selling it to the middleman. So they had a huge like fight, a conflict with the middlemen. Middlemen approached to the like block officers, meaning middlemen approached to even higher officials. Even they complained it to like police also. Then the police called and to us. Then we said, Ki, these are the fruit belongs to these tribals. It's their right whom they want to sell. We are not telling them. If middlemen give them the higher price, we'll be happy they sell to them. If their farmer producer organization is giving them higher price, they should have the freedom to sell them. So these two women were there who basically stopped those middlemen vehicle, and they said, no, we will not allow to enter these vehicle in our villages because you have cheated us from long, and now we basically don't want to get cheated again and again. So this is how we basically need these type of tribal leaders, I say, women's leader, to bring change at the village level. So we can only like play a role of catalyst. We can motivate them. So ultimately, these are the women who has to become a leader, and they have to fight for their own rights. So if like video have been like they would have been able to share their experience, it would have been great. But sorry for that.
No problem. It's always happened because it is an online, it is not an online. And
Yeah.
in your slide, you also talked about the intake Gramshree is a hybrid model. It is
Yeah.
not completely offline, completely online. It is an
Yeah.
interactive. And we'll have, when the situation comes, we'll also have all your associated members will have a separate webinar with respect to Gramshree. In association with the Gramshree, we will have a national webinar from the Shobhit University. And it's very important because this is where it's very important. Doubling farmers' income, you are in a position to tell the country is not only double, and you are able to do it from before 2017 and 2021. You say that from 4 rupee kg to 15 rupee kg raw one, and now it is going on a processing mode. It doesn't even fish you take it. It is not in a wildlife, wild grown orchard. It is a fish. It goes to various places as a commodity with the formalin, laid. And it goes, and which is with a lot of health issues. And you have done wonders in bringing in this grassroots level value chain, and with good manufacturing practices. I was listening very carefully how you are able to bring in a social impact and economic impact, and also bringing in all round hygienic, so that your good manufacturing practices are imbibed, introduced with the people. And you say that now it is that every aspect which you put it is that and it is bringing in transparency, trustworthiness, and belief. And that it's more important. And you also said that it is now competing with, it is an organic, the USP is organic, not like orchard grown custard. And there are more than 35 NGOs, startups have signed an MOU after delivering the talk with this platform. And I will be I will request you that let us join together. University will be undertaking its own responsibility of capacity building and training, and bringing this informatics value chain, and bringing in technology solutions, technology identification, technology adoption, and training of people at the grassroots level, and how to vertically grow smart tribal farming, and also smart tribal village, which I have put it as a technocrat. I have been, even in 1985, when I was the project director for 512 districts computerization during the period of Mr. Rajiv Gandhi as the Prime Minister. And I was given that responsibility. The project code is District Information System of NIC, 512 district, 28 sectoral database development program, which included ST development, District Information System, or ST. It would have been operationalized from that day, 87 onwards. Today, you would have got a database on every tribal family. Today, you have artificial intelligence, you have big data analytics, you have GramNet and so on and so forth, the smartphone, but data is not there. When DPT program was being launched, when I was in service, and additional secretaries level offices are coordinating with each district level. So I was interacting with one of the department, and his state district level tribal affairs officer says, I don't know. The state level department gets the data. And, and this is how the government schemes without any focus is being operationalized. And, and that's the reason only that put it that if digital technology in agriculture to help the people, 14.5 crore operational holders, and I put it that it's not only irrigated farming, tribal farming, irrigated farming, redford farming, but even though there are tribal sub-plan, and is being done by so many departments, nobody knows that how with a focus a tribal settlement, tribal habitat is getting benefit. So when I put this, smart tribal farming, many people asked me, Professor Moni, what is that one which you put it like this? I told him that yes, tribal subplans are there, but what is its impact at the grassroots level? Every department which is having tribal subplan, in their annual report, they will write 2 pages. That's it. It may enter. It stops, and then there is a national level corporation on ST Development Finance Corporation. They give money to the state government. State government got their own budgets for tribal schemes, but clash of interests. When I have a tribal scheme at the state level, why should I operationalize the central government scheme? And then they asked me that, Professor Moni, now you're working with the university, you are setting up centers. Why can't we have, NGOs directly, work for tribal development? But for that, the national, ST Finance Corporation, ST Development Finance Corporation has to have its, rule has to be changed, has to change it. The thing is that it is because of the clash of interest, because of the business allocation, because of the state-center relationship that central money should go to state, and they will mix it up with the various other activities, but the focus is not there. But now, with the Ministry of Rural Development, their data analysis and census 2011, they found out that 145,000 tribal villages has got more than 25% of the populations are tribal, tribal people. And then how can't we make it small tribal villages? And it is an opportunity. And then, and last year when this came in the newspaper, I felt so happy that I put it smart tribal farming. When along with Hassles-Free Foundation is headed by a former IAS officer, and that we put up a proposal that the Department of Science and Technology wanted to have an S&T hub for tribal development and scheduled caste development. We thought that let us put it to 50 villages. Let us make it as a RICE. It is a tribal economic, families platform, economic platform, which we should be in a position to take to throughout the country, throughout the world. There are tribal populations are there throughout the world in different continents. And it is very important, but that didn't come through. And now I would like to, like what you are doing it, I would like to request you to, let us work together in different aspects. You are not only now stopping with the custard apple, now you're getting to all minor forest produce. And it's very important. I used to tell them that tribal agriculture is sustainable agriculture. Tribal agriculture is organic. Tribal products have to be patented. Process has to be patented. And tribal boys and girls from the tribal villages have to be equipped, trained. And this is where the Shobhit Institute of Engineering Technology, Center for Agricultural Informatics, E-Government and Research Studies, and Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Application, and Industry 4.0 technology studies and application, and health informatics and computing. We would like to focus on smart tribal village along with organization like you. It is not like Gram village. It is a very nice title which you put it Gramshree, like Padma Shri, and you already given a title, a recognition that Gram, as Mahatma Gandhi said it, Acharya Vinoba Bhave said it, and it is a Kram Pradhan Desh, Krishi
Yeah.
Pradhan Desh.
So we'll be happy to sir, collaborate, and like Gramshree, like when we put the name, it's basically starting the developed Gaon. Gram basically Gaon. Sri means start of the development work, change you want to bring. So we want to basically become the change agent basically. Just to share
And
with you,
that's the
yeah.
reason only these 7 mission mode programs. During the farmer strike, I was invited among one of the 15 experts in a meeting called by Honorable Defense Minister Shri Rajnath Singh, Honorable Agriculture Minister Shri Tomarji,
Mhm.
and in the house of Honorable Defense Minister on, I think, October 15th or 16th, 2020. I told them that when I initiated the programs in 1987 on agriculture in 28 sectoral database development program, when 95, inspired by the Rio 8 Summit recommendation, Agenda 21, Chapter 14, that I had a national conference on informatics for sustainable agriculture development come out with the blueprint, IT blueprint in the form of 15 informatics network, AgMarkNet, AgriSnet, and so on and so forth, operationalized. And then the last one, when I was in services, networking of 7,032 location for animal disease monitoring, in the country up to the block level. District in 1987, 512 districts. And then in 2012-13, it was launched, that, 7,032 location on National Animal Disease Reporting System. And afterwards, I have been propagating. I retired as Director General in May 2013. And this university invited me and joined as a Professor Emeritus and set up a 5 centers of excellence. This is the first private university in the world to have a center for agricultural informatics and e-government research studies. And these 5 centers to bring in technology development and training to the rural youths. They don't have to go to the urban areas. And then we concentrate on 3 areas: agriculture, and then small scale industries, and health. These 5 centers of excellence, and informatics and e-governance. Train all graduate people and postgraduate people, both agriculture and engineering and non-engineering, and have them in the MTech level, MSc level on informatics, value chain. They should become an entrepreneur. They should not go to the government for a job, clerical job. And for many of the institutions like IITs, NITs, IIMs, and many other things, agriculture is not an use case. It is a beautiful one. As being an IITian, I did my MTech computer science from IIT Chennai 76-78 batch. And agriculture is an unstructured problem. You must have known. And today with the AI and big data analytics and blockchain, if you don't have a raw data, what will you do it? The government has been building only statistics. If the district program in 1987, as I have visualized, which has been presented in 5 district collectors conference, if they would have been operationalized today, you would have gotten data, raw data, and impactful data from every house from each village. Then 2002, I got the scheme approved for smart village by the then planning commission. I wanted to do 1 village in every state, 29, one in Andaman. Many agencies in mainland don't even bother about the pilot project in Andaman, Nicobar Island. And then, that I was not allowed to do it. If that would have been done, when our present Prime Minister announced the smart city, smart village would have got about 14 years experience. Then I launched it and included in the, doubling farmers income committee report. When at that time I was associated as a chief advisor IT in the Department of Agricultural Cooperation. And I worked along with the Dr. Ashok Dalwai. He was the chairman. And to volume 12 is talking about science and technology for doubling farmers income. But the thing is that this digital technology has been put it as a volume 12B. And I was the group leader. And I thought that from 1987 onwards, what has been happening in this country, I put it as a 7 mission mode program. I told the Honorable Defense Minister and Honorable Agriculture Minister that I was doing it with any legislative support, with the cooperation from state governments and central government, limited manner. But today, with your 3 Farm Acts and the 7 measurement program of doubling farmers' income, it can facilitate one agri deep tech startup in every Gram Panchayat, 2.25 lakh, agri deep tech startup in every Gram Panchayat. We needed to help 14.5 crores operational holders in the country. You have only 650 Krishi Vigyan Kendras. We have got 14.5 crore operational holders. And then we need to create this much, agri-tech startups, and they will be solving the problems, work with each, 5,000 farmers and so on and so forth at the Gram Panchayat level. We have 1 lakh primary agriculture cooperative societies, 22,000 primary fisher cooperative societies. They have to be made as a startup. They should work for, a value chain. There is no, why should we waive off loans? They are ready to pay if you make it as a value chain. And this is what, the CoopNet and the e-cooperatives is what I proposed in 2004, which is included in the National Cooperative Union of India's centenary celebration volume. And that has been carried in this Doubling Farmers' Income Committee report. I'm very happy. And that's why now this university, after I retired as a Director General NIC, and this university has given a platform for rural upliftment to bring in technology by capacity building and competency building of rural youths through the formal education and also skill development and entrepreneurship development, create as many number of incubators in the university with the various funding. And when they have matured, let them go branch off. And this is what is necessary. And I'm very happy that, you have done it. And I was able to see from your value chain that you said it is a big hypothesis that wherever there is a dairy value chain, the villages have progressed. Wherever there is no dairy value chain, they lagged behind. And this is what, and that's what even agriculture, wastages, $17 billion per annum. I have taken an interest on banana value chain in my district. 25 varieties. I come from Kanyakumari district in Tamil Nadu. I settled in Delhi for the last 42 years. More than 25 varieties banana. This banana doesn't even come to Delhi, but we are trying to export it to America. India itself is more than 28 countries. Our internal trade has to be on par with the external trade. The thing is that day before yesterday, I was having a meeting, and I think, I should tell that UK has banned our dairy products. Many countries have banned our dairy products. But why India is number one? India is number one in milk production. If many other countries have banned dairy products, then is it not necessary that why should we also take dairy products from Indian, dairy, setup? What is the problem? It means that we can take all, if the whole world doesn't want to take dairy products from India, it's banned. Either we should see to that why is it so, or we should create special economic zone for dairy, products, so that the whole world should be in a position to, remove the ban. Some states may not be able to have that because of the foot and mouth disease. You separate them. But bring in a special economic zone for dairy products and stamp it with a GI, with a geographic location, not a tag in that different meaning. This dairy products from this area is free from all disease. And many importers of Indian origin staying in other one, they say that, we feel very bad. Amul has come out. I can't import Amul products. It's banned. And this is an important, dairy can give constant income. And you see, whether it is a cyclone or whether it is a, drought or, calamities, bovine animal gives milk. But bovine animal doesn't have fodder in the morning and evening. Then woman and, family head, woman and men have to go for, collection of fodder. But poor people, for the people, The government has got a public distribution system. They procure from somewhere and then make it lot of wastages, but still available as a free ration in many state government, because they give votes. Animals cannot give votes. So we have now launched an commercial processing of fodder, and it's a game changer for dairy industry. We can grow fodder in wasteland, wetland, and so many other things, nutrient fortified, this is fodder, and we can even export. It can be a constant welcome and give morning and evening, that this is available at the doorstep of dairy farmers, and it's a big opportunities. And with you, we would like to experiment all those things and make it a value chain, 400 agriculture commodity value chain, one per every district. This is what the Shobhit Institute of Engineering Technology is, an engineering institute, technology deemed to be university, but application use agriculture is the highest use case. We would like to train them. We would like to train the rural boys and girls. I would like to have appropriate MOU with you,
So
and to
I
have
would love to.
boys and girls can be trained on this technology.
So
And
we'll be happy to like collaborate with you, sir.
internship with you.
So we like
And-
we will be happy to host like children's also in our like location areas and all these. Just to share with you like what we are doing with this minor forest produce also. Just to share like during this COVID 2020. So the area in Rajasthan where we are working, it's a like area where like lot of migration happens. So because of like reverse migration during that period, lot of people came back. So we experimented with this commercial vegetable cultivation. So we really like with the results we found it like they were earning in the range of around like 25,000 to 40,000 in a period of 6 months. With like this reverse migration, lot of burden was there. Like same number, more number of people are coming back, and they have that same like resources in terms of land or water were there. So they were also looking for like what livelihood, alternative livelihood requirement is there. So we did with that, and same like, and then further what we are looking into it, they have got this okay production is there, but again in vegetables also there is a need of value addition. Frozen vegetable, mixed vegetables like options are there. So they are basically now planning to expand like whatever productions are they are having, but then they will be struggling where to market. Again, there will be a challenge. So government basically need to what you are talking about. There is a lot of like requirement where like government need to provide those environment in terms of like those infrastructure, cold chains basically are there. So, for example, just to share in terms of custard apple, so we are storing this custard apple pulp in a rented like cold room, and a rate which the rent which we have to pay is like 4 rupees per kg in Rajasthan. But like in Maharashtra, there is a lot of like government support environment is there. So there the cost is around like 1 rupees 50 paisa per kg. So there is a big difference basically if you want to compete in the market. So that type of like support, basically environment support is required, where if we really want these tribal families, the area where these type of like business cluster can be developed. So like for example, Udaipur is also coming under government scheme of one product, one district. So they have taken it, but then government need to develop those infrastructure. So there should be an infrastructure of like 500 metric ton cold storage there. Then only like this business can flourish. Currently, for example, 7 to 10 mini units are running. But if infrastructure comes up, this unit might go up to 50. So currently, for example, 10 units are running, and that is providing employment to around 400 tribal women. If it goes to up to like 50 unit, it will provide employment to more than 2,000, 3,000 tribal women. So those type of like government intervention is required. So my like with your reach and network, we would like you can put these forward wherever like you get those platforms.
I'll be very happy that based on your talk, if you can put it in the form of a write-up, we will further discuss, and we will have a further discussion with the Ministry of Tribal Affairs, and also with the Honorable Minister Shri Gajendra Singh Shekhar. And he is a man who talks about, previously he was the Minister of State Agriculture, and Mr. Arjun Ram Meghwal, Honorable Minister Arjun Ram Meghwal. I had a personal interaction with them. And let us make it as a policy paper that how smart tribal farming and smart tribal villages have to come up at the age, at between this, this Amrit call period is very important. And, it is, and then how to, train the boys and girls from the tribal villages in advanced technologies. And also that, every minus produce which comes from the tribal village has to get into the global value chain, not only, local value chain. Global value chain, India itself can establish a global value chain. It need not even cross the boundary of India. Fine. So it is very important that, and I'm very happy that I was able to host you. I thank my close friend, Professor M.B. Ashok, was the former Chief General Manager NABARD. He has given reference about you. That's how I was able to interact with you, and you are so kind enough to agree to participate in this program. But it is a real learning for me, awakening for me, and it's a good case study, and even for value chain, that we can, based on your experience, and in the Custard Valley, we can bring out a 3-month certification program in association with the Gramshree and Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies of the Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology. We should have it, and we should, because you are now becoming pan-India. We have to have a certified professionals to undertake. Once they have under the certified professional certificate, and they will be in a position to attract, appropriate investment. And in a push to do that.
That will have a great opportunity. Like Government of India is just promoting like 10,000 farmer producer organizations, and all these farmer producer organizations need to become sustainable, so they need to have some business. So what you are talking about, training these type of youth for 3 months, so they understand what are the nitty-gritty, basically these business required, working with the tribals and with the farmers. That will be a great thing, basically. So
we also have to learn lesson that, started with the farmer produce organization with the SFAC. Now they have given responsibility to NAFED and NABARD and NCDC, and we say that how successful they are, and whether they were able to eliminate the middleman between NABARD and the farmer produce organization, SFAC and farmer produce organization, or NAFED and farmer produce organization. Whether are still the thriving business for middleman even to form the farmer produce organization. And then how the farmer produce organization is now, what is the capacity building for farmer produce organization? Yesterday I was having, that one India's 360 startup, signed an MOU with our university. Now we are having an international program. And yesterday we had a discussion on coconut value chain. And coconut value chain, to get a license in the era of e-governance, it takes 4 to 5 months. Every government department is so-called, website and computerization and so on and so forth. But there is no e-governance. It is only ease of. There is no ease of doing business. It is only ease of being there in the office, because computer will do everything.
Agreed. So we are like, for example, we are working on Tamarind. So we are looking to get this license. So we are facing again a challenge, means for a district level license, state level license.
Why it has to be, if we can do for World Bank, when we say that ease of doing business, that we are coming, we are now coming, we would like to get into the first 30 level. And but ease of doing business in state governments is not there. And yesterday I know, and coconut is one which is organic, and it is that health value, and if this is done, lot of additional incomes. People did not go from village to urban area, and it is very important. People now, they can't with it. So government should know. They should come out with an infrastructure. This is an area for coconut. this is a plan for the government for these areas where coconut is going. This is government will do it. Whichever the farmer wants to join with us, please join with us. It is the other way around. Farmer has to run around. I have a coconut tree. Please make me sustain. So it's make me sustain. It should have been other way around. That government knows all the data. Government has 6,500 block level offices in 5 categories: agriculture, animal husbandry, livestock, the fisheries, bank, education, industry, health, and so on and so forth. If this 6,500 into so many departments, if they can't have a development plan for that for next 10 years, 15 years, what are we doing it? And with the NGOs working in this, an educational institution, 1,500 universities, 45,000 higher educational institution colleges, IITs, IIMs, central universities, NITs, triple ITs, if they can't give a district level perspective plan for development, depending upon the natural resources available, then do you mean to say that this farmer produce organization has to run from pillar to post? And yesterday when he said it, that to get a license for tapping the coconut water, 5 months. And then where is e-governance? Where is ease of doing business? Now today you say the tamarind is very important, big market in Middle East.
Yeah.
India.
Like Chhattisgarh, like this Jagdalpur is like Asia biggest mandi. But again, what you're talking about, those farm laws,
I will be very happy to have a tamarind value chain with you. Let us build it up. So let us bring all the farmers who are all having, because tamarind tree will be there for 50 to 60, 70 years. And we should have processing. And 2008 in Jharkhand, I was included as a member in the state level task force on agriculture, agricultural informatics, and also state level agriculture research commission. And I was made as the chairperson for task force on IT in agriculture. Given report, and then we had a workshop, and I was told that vegetables from Jharkhand goes to Calcutta as a passenger with a ticket, and onion from Jharkhand doesn't have a market because the middleman in various mandis, they reject it. And Jharkhand is an organic state. They don't apply fertilizer at all.
Yeah, so it's like what you're talking about the middleman. So what we saw that reality in, for example, in this Jagdalpur mandi, it's the Asia like largest tamarind mandi. They don't allow, like they are, like for example, we went like a startup. So they are saying you cannot buy in this mandi. And so they have their own monopoly.
Can we do a tamarind value chain portal, value chain with you and the university, and let us bring all the tamarind grower through farmer produce organization, like we are going to do for various commodities, and coconut is one, fisheries, inland fisheries value chain, and many other things. Tamarind is a very important thing because it is not an highly irrigated. It is a drought. It grows whether it rains or not. So and it has to be plucked, and it has to be processed, and it has to be put in every Indian cushion, as well as also various other countries. Tamarind is a part of everyday. It has to be there in everybody's kitchen.
So like tribal areas of like Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Maharashtra, all these tribal are currently selling it to the middlemen. Middlemen are going to the mandis like Jagdalpur mandi, Hyderabad mandis, and from there again the middlemen, they are basically packaging in their own like brand, and then they are marketing it there from there. So now here like startup and those like farmer producer organization can come up with the support of like government.
No, that's the reason only I'd say that even farmer produce organization, a lot of capacity building.
Yeah, so that
and competence building, and it has to be associated with one farmer produce organization. They would have somewhat they were with the cooperative societies. It has to work together. And that's a value chain. Is like if a cooperative society has got 1,000 members, it has to not only that now today they do finance money distribution. Now it has to be a value distribution, and what they produce from the 1,000 farmers, what they produce, it has to do scientifically, good agriculture practices and processing, and then go with a brand, with a branded product. You sell it, not as a raw material. So I'll be very happy. I'll send you the draft MOU. Let us work together, and we'll convert your, this exercise as a 3 month certification program to train a lot of people involved in the custard apple processing, throughout the country. Let them have the certification from the university as a joint certification, and let the people do internship with you and the university, and let us bring that, like for such all minor forest producers where you are involved. Let us try to do this additional step. It's very important. And then try to have copyrights and patents and wherever it is necessary, so that it will bring in a lot of money to the tribal people. And smarter tribal farming, smarter tribal village are very important. And let us work and let us prepare it. Since you are also based in Delhi, let us try to have a presentation to the Minister for Tribal Affairs. Let us try to do that, and let us also generate necessary policy paper on various things which people like you face it at the grassroots level. Let us try to inform the concerned authorities, and also let us work with them that this is what is needed, and let us see to that. With this, and I would like to hear from a final word from you, and then I will close the webinar.
So from my side, like, I would like to thank Professor Moni and the university basically for providing us this platform to share our experience. And I'm really glad to listen to Professor, his own experience and his wide engagement with government level and the different schemes. And I'm really looking forward whatever experience we have gained. So ultimately, our vision is how we can impact the lives of maximum tribal families in the states like Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Odisha, Maharashtra. That's our ultimate vision. Currently, we are focusing on 1 lakh families, but we will plan that how we can reach up to 10 lakh families, how we can impact working on different minor forests. These are the opportunities are there, and we look forward Professor
I
Moni.
will also thank you very much, and I will also one of my NGO who has signed an MOU with the university. He works in in Nilgiris forest. And another talk we had it in the lantana camera. It is it is by forest produce. It can generate a lot of wealth for the tribal people, even though it is the Britishers brought it for landscaping, for ornamental flower, but it is all herbal use and medicinal use, and then also for wood purposes, and many other things can be used it. But now the tribals, they sell it for like what you said, it for less than 4 rupees kg, and people buy it, and it can bring out like anything. That's why we had a separate one webinar on lantana camera, camouflage treasure trove, which we can bring in a lot of wealth to the tribal people, where the lantana camera is growing. And I'm very happy that that's why the title of that, very happy doubling income of tribal families through value chain intervention on minor forest producer. Thank you very much. And I also thank all your project team, and also the various NGO groups working both in Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, and Chhattisgarh. And let us join together and work together to make smarter tribal village and smarter tribal farming a successful and a reality in India. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot. Okay.
We'll close the webinar and leave studio. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.